Oh, you can hear the emotion in her voice there, Brenda, can't you? And I'm sure you can probably relate to a lot of that. And she does go on, she talks about, she almost apologised for kind of being vain and going, oh, sorry, you know, I'm sorry to go on and be like my appearance. I don't think it's vanity. You know, did you feel like that at any point through your breast cancer?
No, I mean, I totally relate to everything that she said, and it is a thing of, for me, it was reconnecting with my body and re-establishing my personal relationship with my body. I used to be confident with my body, and I was like, you know, I wear my clothes and I feel good. And then it does, you know, I went through the mastectomy and a reconstruction operation at the same time. And after that, it took me probably 3 months to look at my body in a mirror. I was very nervous and I was very scared because I knew that I had scars from left to right on my stomach and a whole breast reconstruction. But I think, you know...
Did you find it... Sorry to interrupt you. Did you find it difficult to look at your scar before you had the reconstruction? That must be very difficult. No, you know, when you've had the mastectomy to see, or did you have it absolutely at the same time?
I had it both at the same time. So everything was done all in one go, and then I was in this cocoon to have the nerve endings try and, you know, you've got 24 hours in a cocoon thing, literally, for your nerve endings to retake. But it's, you know, I think when I came on here, that was the first that I kind of felt confident to talk to other people about my body, you know, because the other thing is when I went through chemotherapy, it affected my nails, both my fingernails and my toenails, and they fell off, you know, and things like that of, well, I like to wear, you know, I like to get my nails done and all of that.
Did you feel ugly?
I wouldn't use the word ugly. I just didn't want to. I was trying to.
Though?
Well, yeah. I'm not a foot person anymore. I'm not into the foot thingies. But it was more. The confidence was about me just not wanting people to see me. So it affected relationships that I was having. I didn't want, you know, let's turn the lights off so that you can't see anything. Let's keep all my clothes on so you can't see anything. And it's only slowly but surely, and, you know, obviously in recent year or so that I've got confident, and I'm just like, this is me and this is what I'm doing. From doing the Body Stories campaign, you know, that was a big thing for me, wearing a swimming costume to show myself.
Amazing.
But, you know, I was looking on that and I remember saying to our editor at the time, I can see the breast that, you know, I can always see it, and everybody else is saying they don't recognise it and they can't see it. But that was a big thing for me, and looking at that, I'm a little bit...
Yeah, but you would never know watching that. You look super confident, you look amazing, you
How
look
many years
striding
afterwards
down.
was it?
Well, that was I had the operation was in 2015, and that was 2019, and then I did 4 months with Colleen, and she really got me out there, you know.
Well, because with Full Monty, the whole premise of the show is at the end you do get them out. You know, it's for breast cancer awareness and all that. And she was still at a point during filming
I wasn't going to
where
do it.
she was like, I can't do this. I've never shown anyone ever. So I got her to show me, and we had a laugh, didn't we? Always end it on a laugh, don't we, Brenda?
You're good at that, though,
but I think
you are good at getting people's confidence, and that's why the Full Monty is such an amazing show.
It was my baby when we did it. But I know exactly what you're saying, because I had this conversation with my sisters, Bernie and Linda, and with Linda it was a massive deal of how she looked at herself again. You know, she'd been with her husband 20-odd years, 28, 9 years when he passed away, but, you know, 24/7 they'd been together. But when she had a mastectomy, she, from then on, always wore a T-shirt. She just wouldn't let him see her naked again.
And what did he say?
Well, he was fine with it. He was like, you know, as you're here and you're alive, I don't care. I think you're beautiful, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think for a woman, and especially back in the day, you know, in our day, Linda was always one, oh, who's your sister with all the blonde hair and the big boobs? And, you know, she felt like it really defined her. And all of a sudden, that was taken away. Losing her hair was enormous, and the guilt of feeling like she was being vain because it was saving her life. But she was still there and said, I can't help it. She used to sob about her hair, her nails, her eyebrows. I mean, just losing everything. And to us, we were like, I used to say to her, I don't care what you lose, as long as you're still here. But that doesn't really
But
help
none of us,
at the time.
none of us, unless you experience it, and please
will
God
ever
we
understand,
don't, we can't really understand. I mean, I just picked up that sense, Janet, from Beverly, that it was almost like she was apologising for feeling like that.
Yeah, I
same
think
as,
that
Linda
also,
and Bernie going, "Oh, I'm sorry, I know this is vain, but..." And I go,
it's not vain.
vain.
No, and I had a really close friend, very close friend, who was diagnosed with breast cancer and then had a mastectomy. Her husband was in a high-profile job where it's all about appearance, and they were a very, very fashionable couple. And then she had colon cancer, and so she had 2 sets of scars. She had breast reconstruction, and then she had a scar running all the way down her body, kind of skirting round her navel. And it's almost like it changed her total attitude to life, and her marriage did not survive. And I wasn't surprised, because she went from being part of a world that was in many ways all about external appearances to someone who was totally focused on yoga and taking care of herself and a much more spiritual and mindful way of life. And then, you know, after a while, she remarried someone completely different. So she decided that she would prioritise herself over everything. But it is true that the change of her appearance really affected her marriage, and because perhaps her relationship in the past had been a lot about how you look, and you know, it is hard. And I think that anyone going through cancer treatment, the effect, men and women, the drugs that people are given causes them to bloat, their faces distort. I mean, we've talked about hair and nails falling out. But also, I think for men, it's really hard. People say, "Oh, where's your paunch come from? Why have you put on weight?" And this is so unfeeling when they're actually on life-saving drugs that will make them pile on the pounds.
Like Linda got lymphedema in her arms, so they were like triple the size. Again, so self-conscious of that.
But I think it's really good that she is putting it down and talking about it, because that does help to self-heal. And I was writing it down in a diary, and then I go back and I read through it, and that really helps to take away the block that I had, because I'm thinking, this is what made me. Yeah, OK, my body's scarred, but this is what made me. I'm still here, and if I can...
And also, you're right, I think, you know, she's being very, very honest. And the thing is also, I think it depends how your life was, what kind of lifestyle, because Beverly was always very fit. She was an aerobics instructor. You know, so she's obviously a woman who's always looked after her body and likes to look a certain way. So for her, it's very personal. Listen, Beverly, if you're watching, we send you all our love, and, you know, we hope you're doing well. And when you feel up to it, do come and see us at Loose Women, because we can talk about it with you on here as well.